Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Simple English Talks. I'm so happy you're here with us today. Whether you're joining us for the first time or you're a regular listener, we are so glad you chose to spend your English learning time with us.
Hey there. Great to see you all again. I was just thinking this morning, today's topic is one I really needed when I was learning English. It's something I wish someone had told me much earlier. Same here. I remember sitting in English class studying grammar, memorizing words, and then the moment someone talked to me in English, my brain just stopped. It went completely blank. Does that ever happen to you? Oh, all the time. That's exactly what today's episode is about. Today we're talking about how to train your brain to speak English, not just study English, actually speak it.
Yes, and by the end of this episode, you're going to understand why your brain freezes when you try to speak, and you'll have real practical strategies to fix that. These are things you can start using today.
We want to hear from you too. Tell us in the comments, do you find it easier to read and write English or to speak and listen? Let us know. We read every single comment.
And if you're finding this helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to Simple English Talks. We post new episodes every week to help you grow your English in a natural, fun way. Subscribing is free and it really helps us reach more learners.
All right, let's jump right in. We're going to start with something really important, understanding why your brain struggles to speak English, even when you know a lot of vocabulary and grammar. Once you understand this, everything else will make so much more sense.
Okay, so here's the big question. Why is it so hard to speak English even when you've studied it for years? The answer comes down to something called automaticity. That's a big word, but the idea is simple. Automaticity means doing something without thinking about it.
Right. Think about riding a bike. When you first learned, you had to think about every single movement. Balance the handles, push the pedal, don't fall. But now, you just ride. You don't think about it. That's automaticity.
Exactly. And speaking your native language is the same way. When you speak your first language, you don't think about grammar rules. You don't think subject first, then verb, then object. You just talk. The brain does it automatically.
But with English, most learners study the rules and the vocabulary, but they don't practice actually producing the language enough. So when it's time to speak, the brain is still in study mode, not speak mode. It slows down because it's trying to follow rules consciously.
Speaker 1, there's actually a concept called the input-output gap. You've consumed a lot of English, reading, listening, watching videos, that's input. But if you haven't practiced output, actually speaking and producing sentences, your brain doesn't have the automatic connections yet.
Here's a great way to think about it. Imagine a dirt path in a field. The first time you walk across it, it's hard, you're pushing through grass. But if you walk the same path every day, it gets easier and easier. Eventually, it becomes a clear, smooth road. That's what happens in your brain when you practice speaking.
So the formula is actually pretty simple. Speaking fluency equals vocabulary knowledge plus grammar understanding plus repeated speaking practice. You might have the first two, but if you're missing that third one, speaking will always feel hard.
Now, the negative form of this is important too. It's not that you can't speak English, it's that your brain hasn't been trained to speak automatically yet. There's a big difference. You're not bad at English, you just need a different kind of practice.
Can you think of something you do automatically right now that you had to really concentrate on when you first learned it? Maybe driving, typing, or even cooking a meal? Write it in the comments. It'll help you understand this idea of automaticity in your own life.
So let's quickly review what we just covered. Your brain freezes when you speak English because it hasn't built automatic connections yet. You need repeated speaking practice, not just studying, to build that fluency. The good news is that's completely trainable, and we're going to show you how. If you want to remember this section, pause here and write one sentence about what automaticity means to you. Writing it helps lock it in.
Now that we understand why speaking feels hard, let's talk about what to actually do about it. And I want to be honest, there's no magic shortcut. But there are smart habits that make a huge difference when you do them consistently.
The first habit is thinking in English, not translating. Thinking. Most learners have a habit of thinking in their native language first, and then translating to English in their head before speaking. This is what causes that delay and freeze.
right? So instead, you want to practice generating English thoughts directly. Here's a simple way to start. When you wake up in the morning, narrate your morning routine in English in your head. I'm turning off my alarm. I'm going to the kitchen. I'm making coffee. It sounds silly, but it genuinely works.
Let me compare the formal versus informal versions of this habit. In a formal English class, you might be told to practice English conversation with a partner. That's good advice, but it's not always possible. The informal, everyday version is just talking to yourself. Describe what you see, what you're doing, what you're thinking in English.
The second habit is something called chunking. Instead of learning individual words, you learn phrases as one unit. So instead of learning hold, on, and second separately, you learn hold on a second as one chunk. Your brain stores it and retrieves it faster.
Some great everyday chunks to memorize. I was wondering if, what do you think about? To be honest with you, it depends on, that's a good point. Practice saying these out loud right now. Go on, say one of them. We'll wait.
Here are 3 specific tips. First, repeat, repeat, repeat. Don't just hear a phrase once, use it 5 to 10 times in different sentences. Second, use real topics you care about. Practice talking about your family, your job, your hobbies. Emotional connection helps memory. Third, shadow native speakers. Listen to a sentence in English and repeat it immediately, copying the rhythm and tone. This trains your mouth and brain together.
We'd love for you to try something right now. Take one of those chunks from before and write a sentence using it in the comments. For example, I was wondering if you could help me. Just one sentence. It doesn't have to be perfect. That practice is exactly what builds your brain's automatic English connections. Quick review. The 2 key habits are thinking directly in English and learning phrases as chunks instead of individual words. If you're enjoying this episode, this would be a great time to share it with a friend who's also learning English. Just send them the link. You could really help them out.
All right, we've talked about why speaking is hard and how to build daily habits. Now let's talk about actual speaking practice strategies. What to do when you don't have a conversation partner available, which honestly is most of the time for a lot of learners.
One of the most powerful strategies is the mirror technique. Stand or sit in front of a mirror and just talk. You can describe your day, explain something you know about, or retell a story you heard. The mirror gives you visual feedback on your expressions and mouth movements, and it makes it feel more like a real conversation.
Another incredibly effective method is called the 5-minute challenge. Set a timer for 5 minutes and talk about one topic, any topic, without stopping. It could be your favorite food, a movie you watched, your weekend plans. The rule is you can't stop, even if you make mistakes, especially if you make mistakes.
Here's an important tip about politeness and naturalness. When you're speaking English with real people, natural pauses and fillers are completely fine. Native speakers say things like, I mean, well, the thing is, all the time. Using these makes you sound more natural, not less fluent.
Let's try a mini practice right now. I'm going to say something, and I want you to respond out loud. Ready? Here we go. What did you do yesterday? Say your answer out loud. Don't worry about being perfect. Just say something.
Great. And here's my tip on tone. When you speak English, try to match the energy of what you're saying. Excited news sounds different from sad news. Questions sound different from statements. English has a natural music to it, a rhythm and rise and fall in the voice. Listen for it when you watch English shows or videos and try to copy it.
Real-life practice situations are everywhere. You can practice ordering food in English even if the restaurant isn't English-speaking. Just do it in your head or out loud at home first. You can practice introducing yourself, giving directions, explaining your work. These real-world scripts are gold for building fluency.
And remember, speaking out loud, even alone, is not a strange thing to do. Actors do it. Athletes visualize and verbalize their performance. You're training a skill, and skills need active practice. So speak. Speak in your car, in the shower, on your walk. Make English part of your daily sound. Let's review. The three strategies are the mirror technique, the 5-minute challenge, and using natural fillers for fluency. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Simple English Talks for more practical lessons just like this one.
Okay, now let's talk about common mistakes people make when they're trying to train their brain to speak English. And I'll be honest, I made most of these myself when I was learning, so no judgment here.
Same. These are so common because they feel logical, but they actually slow down your progress. Let's go through them.
Mistake number 1, waiting until your English is good enough to speak. This one is so common and so harmful. People say, I'll start speaking when I know more vocabulary or when my grammar is better. But the thing is, speaking is how you get better. You can't improve speaking by not speaking.
Incorrect. I'll practice speaking English when I'm ready. Correct. I'll practice speaking English every day so I can get ready. The difference is huge. Waiting is procrastination disguised as preparation. Start now, even imperfectly.
Mistake number 2, only practicing in your head. A lot of learners think through conversations in English but never say the words out loud. Your mouth needs practice just as much as your brain. The muscles and movements for English sounds need to be trained physically. Silent thinking is not enough.
Incorrect. Thinking, I can order a coffee in English, but only in your head, never out loud. Correct. Actually saying, can I have a medium latte, please? Out loud, even when you're alone at home practicing, your mouth needs the rehearsal.
Mistake number 3, studying more grammar when speaking feels hard. When students struggle to speak, many go back and study more grammar rules. But usually the problem isn't a lack of grammar knowledge. It's a lack of speaking practice. More grammar study won't fix a speaking problem. More speaking practice will.
And mistake number 4, being afraid of silence. When you don't know a word in the middle of a sentence, many learners panic and stop completely. But native speakers buy time with phrases like, how do I put this? What's the word? You know what I mean? Learn these phrases and use them.
Mistakes are normal. They are literally part of the process. Every fluent English speaker you admire has made thousands and thousands of mistakes. The difference is they kept going anyway, and so can you.
Write in the comments, which of these mistakes do you recognize in yourself? Just knowing your pattern is the first step to changing it. We're all in this together, and there's truly nothing to be embarrassed about. Every mistake is progress.
All right, it's practice time. This is one of my favorite parts of the episode. We're going to do a choose the better sentence activity. I'll give you 2 options, and you think about which one sounds more natural, more correct, or more fluent.
And say your answers out loud. Don't just think them. Speaking them even to yourself is part of the training.
Situation 1. You want to tell your friend you're busy. Option A. I have much things to do today. Option B. I have a lot of things to do today. Which one is correct?
Option B is correct. Much is used with uncountable nouns, like much water or much time. With countable things like things or tasks, we say a lot of. This is one of those small mistakes that really affects how natural you sound.
Situation 2. You're asking for help politely. Option A. You help me? Option B. Could you help me, please? Which sounds more natural in English?
Option B, of course. In English, especially in polite requests, we almost always use modal verbs like could, would, or can. Just removing those makes you sound very direct, or even rude, even if that's not your intention.
Situation 3. You want to agree with something someone said. Option A. Yes, I am, agree. Option B. Yes, I agree. Which one is correct?
I agree. Option B. Agree is already a full verb in English. You don't need am with it. Saying I am agree is a very common error because in many languages you do need that extra word. But in English, I agree is complete and correct.
Now here's your challenge. Create your own sentence using one of the grammar points we practiced today. Maybe a polite request or a sentence with a lot of. Write it in the comments and we might feature your sentence in our next episode.
And always remember, a real conversation is never perfect. Native speakers make mistakes, they hesitate, they correct themselves. The goal isn't perfection, the goal is connection, getting your message across and understanding others. Focus on that, and your confidence will grow naturally. Don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed the practice.
Wow, we covered so much today. I genuinely love this topic because it's so practical. These aren't just theories, these are real strategies that really work when you use them consistently.
Let's quickly go over the three main things we learned today. First, your brain freezes when speaking English because it hasn't built automatic connections yet, and you fix that with repeated speaking practice, not more studying. Second, daily habits like thinking in English and learning phrases as chunks are essential for building fluency. Third, practical strategies like the mirror technique, the 5-minute challenge, and using natural fillers will make you sound much more confident and natural.
You are doing amazing just by being here and learning. Seriously, the fact that you're spending time on your English today means you're already ahead. Every episode you listen to, every sentence you practice, every comment you write, it all adds up. Don't underestimate the progress you're making.
Here's a reflective question for you. What is one thing from today's episode that you're going to try this week? Just one thing. Pick it, commit to it, and let us know in the comments what you chose. We truly love hearing from you.
And if you got value from today's episode, please share it with a friend or family member who's also learning English. Hit the like button, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe to Simple English Talks so you never miss a new episode. We work really hard to make each one helpful for you.
Learning a language is a journey, not a race. Some days will feel easy, some days will feel hard, but every single day that you practice, you are making your brain a little bit more fluent. We are so proud of you for showing up today. Keep going. You've absolutely got this. Thanks so much for joining us at Simple English Talks. Until next time, keep speaking, keep practicing, and keep believing in yourself. See you next time.